welcome back to the WCS Season 1 round of 32. This is game 2 of Major versus Liquid Hero. Now if you haven't seen game 1 on our channel yet, please go take a look at that now so that we don't spoil anything in the next few seconds. Alright, you're gone, you better go. Spoiler alert. Alright, so if you've seen game 1, you would know that Liquid Hero decimated Major in the opening game of this set, winning a very convincing first game with some nice early pressure, and managed to take Major out. So in game 2 we have the bottom left we've got Major, and the bottom right as the red Protoss we have Liquid Hero. So this map is Whirlwind, as you can see. It's quite a large map with central routes through the middle and air routes across the base. So with these spawn locations we get a variety of game types. We could have a quick game with early aggression as we saw last time, given the relatively short distance between Hero's natural and Major's natural over here. But we could also, if we see players take bases away down the flanks of the map, we could see the game develop into quite a long macro map with upwards of 6 or 7 bases per side. It'll be interesting to see how Major responds to the tactics Hero employed in the first game. We saw quite a lot of early aggression out of Hero, with him getting aggressive right off the bat with an early Zealot and Stalker and Mothership Core, and use that to put on quite a bit of pressure. Quite surprised actually to see Major go for a command center first on the low ground. As you can see, we've already got Hero's gateway up and he's starting to mine gas. I imagine we'll see his first Zealot any minute now. And while Major can wall up the top of this ramp, he really does leave this bottom expansion quite exposed to that early aggression. See a double barracks opening. It'll be interesting to see what he goes for from this. You can see that Hero is scouting out across the map. Unfortunately for Hero, he's guessed incorrectly that Major's spawned above or in cross spawn, so he's actually going to be the last location to scout, which probably plays quite into Major's hands with that greedy command center first on the low ground that he's gone for. You can see Hero's got his 100 gas, and yep, there it goes, the Mothership Core's out, as well as this first Zealot already moving out across the map. Hero's gone for his own expansion, but it's going to be a little bit behind the expansion of Major. He's also got his orbital command almost finished. You can see him trying to scout up here, but that's going to quickly get shut down by this Mothership. And you can now expect, I think, Hero to move out in quite a similar way to last round. He's already ascertained that Major must be in this bottom left. He'll be moving out now with that probe to see what intel he can gather. Fortunately for Major, he's already got his bunker up with his Marines in it, so he's actually quite safe against the Zealot and potential Stalker. But Hero's obviously worked that out, because instead of trying to press the advantage like he did last round, he's instead going to be a bit picky with his Mothership Core and just try to agitate Major a little bit, do some light harass on the mineral line, or kill some of these early Marines. But 3 Marines will be enough to push it back, and let's hope that Hero can get that out of there before the Marines take it out. As you can see, he's constantly trying to pick away and force these Marines off the front line. We've seen him use that to expose the natural to attack in the previous game. You can see Hero's going for a slightly different route this game, probably because of his heavier macro start. He's instead choosing to throw up a proxy Stargate, so imagine that in a PvT we'll see some oracles come out of this. Oracles being highly effective for harassing the mineral line with relatively quick travel. Also, they do extraordinarily good damage against light units, so these small packs of Marines that here that Major is using to try and fend Hero off will not be hugely effective against these oracles. You can see he's got 2 queued up, and he's dropped a proxy pylon over at this third base to try, potential third base, to try and keep Major contained. We can see this, that Hero is once again dictating the pace of the game, with a Mothership Core harass forcing a group of Marines up here, as well as these oracles and the pressure at the front door. It makes it very difficult for Major to try and not only defend his base, but to do any meaningful pressure early in the game. As we know, Protoss does suffer early game against Terran, so the longer that Hero can keep this pressure up, the better situation he'll be in. Doesn't seem to have phased Major though, because he's going for that same +1 weapons we saw early on last round, and dropping some additional barracks and a starport. So he's going for his 3 barracks, is factoring his starport, as well as getting up his 3rd command centre to make sure he doesn't fall behind. See Liquid Hero continuing to pile on the gateway units, warping them in at the front line with the robotics bay for that follow-up Colossus, I'd imagine. We saw a similar play to this last round with Major being forced to try and counter those Colossus at a really poor timing. So these Oracles have 7 and 5 kills respectively. They've done quite a lot of damage to the production line. If we look at the units lost tab, there we go, we can see 700 units, 700 resource worth of Hero units lost for Major, and Hero has actually not lost anything yet, so he's in quite a commanding position. Major's obviously feeling the pressure. He's reacted with a number of extra bunkers at the front, and he's going to do a little bit of a scout out with these Marines to try and determine just how many forces are out here and waiting. See that Hero is not actually going for any more units out of the Stargate at this point, but just continuing to pluck away with his Mothership Core, leaving the Oracles here as a threat. Again, divvying up the number of Marines that can actually defend the base against this harassment. It's obviously feeling stretched thin. He's thrown up a missile tower in the primary base to try and ward off some of those pesky harass. See the Oracles come back in for another run. Unfortunately for them, the number of Marines is going to quickly take them down. A quick stim, and we can see that leveled the playing field considerably with 800 resources now lost for Hero. Major moves up to the north to try and take out this starport and secure this 3rd base, try and put himself in the most comfortable position for Terran, which is 3 base aggression. Once a Terran hits 3 bases with some decent worker saturation, they can keep that aggression on pretty steadily for the next 5 or 10 minutes. And we saw Bomber use that to quite good effect in the last game. Unfortunately for Major, he's found himself in the same position as last game. The heavy aggression kept him from taking the Vikings he would need to deal with this Colossus. Unfortunately, he didn't get enough scouting out early in the game, so he probably predicted that Hero was going to go for a similar sort of high Templar tech first. And Hero swapping it up to Colossus has allowed him to get this edge yet again and cut through the army of Major. We can see here that even with the SCVs pulled off the line, Hero is absolutely cutting through this army. A few force fields to cut off the retreat, and the 3rd base goes down in flames. That leaves Hero in a commanding position, him having just dropped his own 3rd base. We see him now pushing the ramp, and unfortunately in a similar position to last game, he's got insufficient ground forces to really do the damage he needs. SCV's once again pulled off the line, but some impressive micro from Hero keeps this Colossus out of harm's way. 13 kills, and yet again Major fails to pick it off with those ground forces. I expect this will be just about it for Major. And there we go, there we have the GG. So Hero sweeps Major 2 straight to progress on to the next round, and Major drops into the losers bracket to play. So from here the tournament progresses for several rounds. It goes through another round and then progresses through quarterfinals and finals, with the winner taking $20,000 in prize money. Thanks for tuning in to another Aussie StarCraft cast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video and leave any comments down below. I love hearing what you've got to say. This is Aussie StarCraft signing out.